right, David Shandon, please go again. Eye candy has got you. So just go right through your report. Over. Yeah, I got some of that, David, and got the fill from Eye Candy. So, yeah, we just can't quite work out. Well, you might make it Friday. I'm going to pass the microphone to David, but he is concerned that you are going to be dealing with this system. What is your ETA now? Over. Okay, he's confirming Friday. All right. Well,
Friday to where?
To Opua. Friday to Opua. He's at 28:31 now. So, oh well, he's going to be
Good.
making the most of that big boat. Certainly got the waterline length. So we hope that will be the case. Thanks, Andrew. And I forgot to, well, David's changed the screen, but what's it like at Ambrym? Over. Oh, okay. 10 knots from the east, a bit cloudy and a little bit of drizzle, and heading to Epi. All right. So I guess you're making your way slowly back to where you'll be leaving the boat. Over. Yeah, well, it's better than the headwinds, isn't it? It usually is what we ended up doing too. All right. Well, good to have you audible for me this morning. It's been a bit of a challenge lately, that's for sure. Although 20 metres has been better. Well, good to make contact with Shandon. Thank you for that. David single-handed, as you probably know. Okay, well, good morning, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH286. And, well, I'll tell you what, it has been an absolutely glorious week for us. Just almost like a switch going off. That horrible day by day in October. And now we've just got this magnificent high, flat calm. I mean, it is flat calm at the moment. The boats are every which way in the anchorage. We've got about 80% cloud cover just to high cirrus. Yesterday it was 24 here in the area till quite late at night time. Blue sky all day. We currently have 17 degrees, which is, as you know, it's quite early in the morning, and 17 degrees is quite delightful. 1014.6, and slowly, steadily, very slowly rising at the moment. So good morning to everybody. Andiamo and Savu Savu, good morning to those on streaming. Clear blue skies, no wind, 1010.5. Numia, good morning to Shimata. Down at Ildepan, no wind. they're moving to Iriaka. Well, that's because there's no wind. It would be lovely down there. High overcast 1011. Sounds like a bit of staging going on for the trip. Okay, it sounds as if people have had some absolutely delightful sailing. The ones that left Minerva. Way to go at the moment. It's just past the 30 mark, so probably not hearing us at the moment. 175.25 east, and they have got about 8 knots motor sailing. They are northeast wind, pretty flat seas. So just really delightful conditions for people, and that's the way it would be nice if it was like that all the time. Haven't had anybody else report in this morning. So I'm going to just do a pause to see if there's anybody on air. There was one boat there. Try again, please. Tuvadima, go ahead. (3125) south. I find that amazing that you are copying me and I am copying you. Not brilliantly, but I don't copy anybody brilliantly. But that is interesting that you are at 3125. What are your conditions there? Over.
Yeah,
Well, you faded at the end. What is your longitude? Longitude, over.
17406 east, over.
Oh, you've come up really well now. So 3125 and 17406. And sounds like you're enjoying the sail. You won't want it to finish.
ETA.
ETA, please, over.
Yeah, we play quite slow. We do only 4 knots in these conditions, and we think we will get to over Friday morning. Over.
Friday morning, and you are booming in with me now. So I think, David, that you're happy about that, aren't you? Friday morning. Excellent. Now, just give me your boat name again, over.
The boat name is Selena. Selena. Bravo, Echo, Lima, Echo, November, Alpha.
Okay, Belina. I should recognize your voice by now, shouldn't I? All right, Friday morning. Excellent. And I'm not sure why I'm got you booming in here when you're at 3125, but that's good. All right, thank you for that. And I might, if you're near the radio and it's really good, I shall use you in case there's anybody else. In fact, would you mind just giving a call for anybody that wants to give a report and I am not copying them? Just give a general call, please. Over.
Yes, this is Selena calling the relay call for Woodmother Radio. Anybody who knows of the door, the sound like contact with radio, call
Okay, thanks, Benno, and we'll carry on, and conditions might change on the way through anyway. All right, folks, I'll just give a bit of news. I know a lot of people are interested in those that didn't take the opportunity on this particular passage, and I know some are wanting to leave. What I should tell you is that we will have our last day on air on November 22. November 22 is the last day for Gulf Harbour Radio, and we will actually not even be here at Gulf Harbour. So that will be after that. So that will be the last day. I think David is going to give you another option for arrival today, which will mean some of you will need to leave in the very near future. So he will certainly be covering that. All right, let's have a little bit of news then. I know a lot of people use WhatsApp. In fact, 1.5 billion people around the world use WhatsApp, including about 400 million in India. and evidently a vulnerability in the app's video calling feature, whatever that is, allowed spyware to get into phones that had the WhatsApp app on it. So just be cautious about that one. Evidently, their software is not as good as it could be. So just be a little bit careful on the use of the WhatsApp feature that's called, it's even allowing some spyware into it. It's absolutely beyond me, so just be cautious on that one. In the UK, you now have to register drones. I know a lot of you have got drones, and we've in fact got some really good drone stuff on our website that you've sent in the gallery. Those in the UK now have 25 days to register their drones. It covers every drone or model aircraft that weighs more than 250 grams. For those of you who are metrically impaired, that is 8.8 ounces. Half a pound, yes. It costs you £9 a year, and you have to be over 18 to have a drone now, or a model aircraft. I think that's absolutely amazing, because I can remember as a kid being a lot less than 18 with a model aircraft. But anyway, it's getting to the stage in the UK where people are not using them properly, and the skies are very full, and the whole business is getting quite awkward. So they do say that one of the benefits of doing that will be that they can help reunite drones with their owners. Evidently, when batteries go out of sync or something with the whole situation, they are going far and wide, and the people are losing them. So you now register your drone, and with a bit of luck, it will come back to you unless somebody stomps on it. Okay, just to show you that sport is a good paying occupation these days, one of the New Zealand All Blacks, Sonny Bill Williams, has signed a $10 million deal to join the Toronto Wolfpack. They play in the English Super League, evidently. So this will be for a 2-year contract, which I hope they get some play out of him, because usually when he's around here, he's injured and hardly gets to go on the field, except about halfway through. That's about all he lasts. But anyway, $10 million deal to, I guess he has to go to Toronto for that one. Okay, the US has begun the process of pulling out of the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has submitted a formal notice to the United Nations. It takes a year to go through this process, and in fact a year will take them right up to, I think, the day after the election, or the day before the US election. So there you go. Every country in this deal provides their own goals to curb emissions of heat-trapping gases in the atmosphere. There's about 200 people have signed up. New Zealand and the United States, in fact, have had a measles epidemic because people have stopped vaccinating. They have discovered in all the study that's now been done on this that measles can destroy between 11 and 73% of your immunity to other diseases such as flu and TB and the like. So it's an added incentive to try and stop the spread of measles and get people back vaccinating. The migrant crisis, of course, is continuing in Europe, even though they're heading now into the winter months. In Greece, 41 men and boys were found in the back of a refrigerated truck during a routine highway check. They were all alive, fortunately, not like the 39 people that were dead from Vietnam in the truck in the UK. But that's certainly, it's a very big business, getting people. Many of them have come from camps, which is a pretty horrible way to be living in these migrant camps. It makes you realise how bad their home conditions are for them to bother with that. I guess they're just hoping for something a lot better. And finally, and this is mainly for David, any amount of running, no matter how brief, slow or infrequent, reduces the risk of an early death. So there you have it, folks. with that, he's just standing up, and he's done about 4 steps on the ground to cover the no matter how brief or slow. So he's done his running for the day. All right, so we've got a report from Dinnerau here. No cloud, 5 knots from the southeast, and a bar of 1008. And they want to know about leaving tomorrow. The big thing is, of course, when are you going to arrive, folks? And I think that's the important thing to do. All your boats are very, very different. Some are huge, some are small, some like to just trot along, not using the engine. This is, I might add, not a passage for, not following a passage plan. I'm sure you've heard David rant on about that for quite some time. This is a passage where you have a passage plan, you have waypoints, and you meet them with your engine if need be. But anyway, the arrival time is the important one, and how you get there is up to you. So I'm going to pass the microphone and see what he's got in store for the next arrival time. And please remember, we will not be on air after November 22. Here's David.
All right, good morning. And we'll start looking at that 500 ridge. That's moving slowly east. And along with it is the surface high that Trish has been talking about here. It's actually weakened a bit. Central pressure only about 1019, 1019er millibar. So a very, very mellow high. And as she said, we've had no air here yesterday. We actually got up to what, 28?
Inside.
Yeah, inside the house. It was ridiculous. Big changes like that, I just find it hard to handle. Anyway, those of you that are underway in between 25 South and New Zealand should be having a pretty perfect ride about this time. Some of the reports that we're getting are indicating that the winds have finally come around. But why is it when we have a nice ointment like this, there's always a fly in it? So at 500 millibar, back up topside now, 500 millibar, a very sharp shortwave trough lies left leaning. Axis runs from the mid-Tasman to roughly Brisbane. Now there's quite a bit of vorticity, or spin, if you will, has developed. A subtropical depression is now twirling away. The center is near 28 and 163 east, 28, 163 east. Now it's this upflow from the shortwave that's causing this. Now a trough and a cold front extend from this. They curve up toward New Caledonia, probably will be over New Caledonia very shortly. Now there is another quasi-stationary front from this depression that extends south, and that goes down and hooks up with a small depression that's just to the west of New Zealand's South Island. Now the northern trough in the front should probably roll over New Cal, I would say late tonight, although the forecasts from that area don't really indicate this. So we'll see what happens there. You folks will have to tell me what does happen. Now by Friday, a couple of days from now here, by Friday, our surface high is going to gain a little bit of strength. I would say about 1025 millibar, 1025. So it's gone from 1019 and it's picked up about 6 millibar in the process. Now the isobars are such that we still have a very good ride to New Zealand for those that are underway. But a complex trough does move over the South Island late on Friday, the South Island now. By Saturday, which is the 9th, I see about 30 knots as you approach the North Island, North Cape, Cape Reinga, heading towards Cape Brett. I'm seeing about 30 knots in this trough system. The frontal axis looks to me to be over the Opua area. I'm guessing now about 1 to 2 a.m. on Sunday. So we'll see how correct that winds up being. 1 to 2 a.m. Sunday. we'll see, or rather you'll see, I guess. You'll see before I see. Late Sunday, it's possible to see northerly quadrant winds gusting maybe up to 50, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50 knots, maybe. Not for sure, but be ready just in case. Those of you that are around 30, 30 south, you need to get in by Saturday. Most of what I've heard so far this morning, you are, at least the boats we're talking to. Most of you are getting in on Friday, which is excellent, but Saturday should be okay too. A little bit more wind for you on Saturday, but still in a good direction. Now, this is not advice, mind you. This is just an opinion. So if it looks like you are absolutely not going to make it until Sunday into Monday, one idea to think about is just at this moment slow down or even stop. Let this front pass. You might be able to get in on the 13th, Wednesday. That frontal band and cyclonic flow will be drifting east at that point. Still have cyclonic flow, but the wind still should be okay to get in. Still going to be windy, but anyhow, we'll just have to see as the days roll on here. And don't forget, this is today's analysis. It could all change, so certainly stay tuned. Now, what else was I going to say? I can't remember what I was going to say there. But anyway, regarding the seas that you'll be encountering as you're coming down from 30 south to New Zealand, not as bad as that killer depression that we had a few weeks ago. I'm seeing 3 to 4 meters from the north. Most of these winds are going to be northerly quadrant as you roll south. But you will hit a cross sea from the west, and that is going to be about 3 meters. And this is going to be late on Sunday. And Monday, you could expect, I would say in general, a westerly quadrant swell. The northerly quadrant is going to be overpowered by the westerly quadrant. And it possibly could get up to 5 meters. And that's on Monday, late Sunday into Monday. So hopefully, as I said, you either will have made it in before then, or you'll have decided to wait it out a little bit further north. It's a big decision to make, but think about it carefully. A lot of times the rush to get in, being that close, throw caution to the wind. A lot of wind to throw caution into, I can say. Okay, as Trish said, we're getting close to the season end of Gulf Harbor Radio. We'll be back next year, but this is pretty much the end of it, 6 months of it. So if anyone has a plan for departure in the near future, now's the time to think about providing it. If you want me to have a comment, I'm still looking at the 19th, give or take. That has some merit as an arrival date. Now, the anticyclonic frogs that I'm looking at, these long-term frogs, they seem to indicate that these oncoming highs are fairly weak to moderate. I haven't noted anything in the 1030s or the like. The depressions seem to be staying fairly well south. Their northern boundaries do reach the North Island, and that is going to happen. They're going to roll through almost every 5 to 7 days. And don't forget also that between any two highs, you're normally going to find a trough. So that's pretty much the big picture at this point. Now also, we're within tropical cyclone dates officially, but historically here, they arrive, if they do arrive at all, a little bit later in the season. But it only takes one maverick to spoil things, and looking at the history of the Southwest Pacific, we have actually had a tropical cyclone in every month of the year at one point or another. So be aware of that. Now, you may also start to see tropical disturbance popping up in the deep tropics. If you're getting your satellite imagery, or if you're looking at Fiji Met, where they have a little map that they show about 3 times a day, 4 times a day, something like that. You'll see them drawn on these maps. They're no fun at all. These are clusters of thunderstorms. They're areas of gales, but they flare and then they tend to disappear, usually. One of them could certainly be a precursor to a tropical cyclone. So think about that. Now, December, for those of you that are staying a bit, that could be a very pleasant month. It's very nice up in the islands. It gets wetter because that is the start of their wet season up there. So you're going to have more troughing and drizzle and that kind of thing. But when it's nice, it's really nice. And many people leave in the month of December, but make sure that you check your insurance fine print on that if you do have insurance. Now, those of you that are trying to get from Fiji to Vanuatu or New Caledonia, it still does not look like a great idea for this week, anytime this week. I still see that cyclonic flow midway on Friday and Saturday. That means convective activity, and it means headwinds. Best hold off a bit. Again, not advice, just an idea. Now, going from New Cal to Oz, Coughs or Harvey Bay or whatever, that doesn't look like a good idea either. I think you'd best wait until next week. In fact, Monday through Friday of next week, you may have a pretty good chance of making that voyage. We still have quite a few boats that are wanting to do that. So take a look at your grids and models and whatever it is that you look at and decide what you're going to do. But it does look like next week for that.
Welcome back to Marina.
Yeah. Now, let's look very quickly at the islands. Tonga shows scattered cloud on imagery. Speaking of imagery, I use it all the time. I look at it every day. That is one of the most important things. I would be curious as to those of you that are up in the islands that do get the internet, how many do look at imagery? It would be nice if you drop me a little note at some point in time as to the users of this. I would be interested. Anyway, back to Tonga. No troughs. That's good news. Getting tired of troughs up there in Tonga. Our high to the southwest is bringing, actually it's bringing some pretty cool air over the group. It's a cool air mass. Totally different air mass. The temperatures at night are getting down to 19 C. And here we are going into summer and the temperatures are dropping. There you go. Winds by lunch today, mostly easterlies in the 15 knot range. Pretty much the same tomorrow, up a bit, 15 to 20. And it looks like a nice run to Minerva for those heading there. Between now and Monday, it looks reasonable to make that trip. Fiji now shows scattered cloud as well. I see a band that's skirting northern Fiji, just to the north of Vanuatu. It's running west-east, but south of there, a lot of cumulus cloud is caught up in the high circulation, so that's moving sort of east-west, 2 different directions of cloud. So for the group, mostly fine weather, but possible afternoon scattered showers today and tomorrow, quite typical of the tropics. Winds today east to east-northeast, depending upon where you are, and they'll be in the 15 knot range. Late tonight, they all are going to tend to the northeast, I think, give or take on that. Northeast tomorrow as well. And then a change on Friday. I'm looking at northeasterlies clashing with north to northwesterlies. Then later the winds are, I'm going to rephrase that. West of Viti Levu is where you're going to find these north to northwest winds. So they're not exactly right over the Azores, not exactly over Viti Levu, but they're just to the west. But they will be clashing with the northeasterlies. So that then is going to indicate convective activity that we're going to see. Now for the models EC that many of you look at, as we mentioned yesterday, they picked up this depression forming just to the southwest of Viti Levu. GFS is not picking it up per se, but EC is pretty adamant that it's going to happen. And my philosophy is if something bad is consistent on a model, you might as well pay attention to it. So it appears to develop and move west-southwest and be gone by maybe late Saturday into Sunday. So that makes that trip west not viable, in our opinion. Vanuatu, quite a bit of scattered to broken cloud over the chain on imagery this morning. Expect some of the scattered showers out of this to be scattered about Luganville. Luganville is probably a pretty good place to get some showers out of it. Port Vila might escape. Winds mostly northeast, light to moderate. To the west of the chain, if you draw a line up and down, we may see north-northwest winds, and they'll be converging with the northeast winds. So tomorrow, we're going to see a complete shift. Just about everywhere, I think we're looking at west-southwest winds to the west, and then northwest winds on the east. So, as you can see, they would be coming together, creating some directional convergence. They'll be in the 15 knot range. So, a lot of changes in wind direction for Vanuatu, and what you get obviously depends on where you are. And we can give you detail, by the way, if you have it. But this is just a general look. New Caledonia shows scattered cloud on the loop this morning. The winds are all over the show. Northerlies over the Loyalties, westerlies in our lagoon area, northerlies at Ile de Pan, all in the 10 to 15 knot range by around lunchtime. Now the lagoon tomorrow looks like west-southwest, about 10 to 15. Remember that funnel band and trough we talked about? Well, I don't see it being talked about on the New Calumet people. Looks like it's going to be there, so be prepared if it does show up. Ile de Pan, tomorrow southerlies, south-southeast for the Loyalties, and light and variable up and down the east side of Grande Terre. We've got a couple of boats that are on that east side, moving this way or that way, enjoying the rather unspectacular scenery, in our opinion. We think it's sort of a waste of time being on that side, but anyway, it's different. So I'll give you the actual conditions. The outer reef, this is early this morning, and these are from instrumentation that has been set up. West-northwest 4 to 7, Ile de Pan north 9 to 16, and Noumea north to northwest 2 to 6 knots, quite light. And by the way, the barometer there, 1009er. 1009er in the barometer. Okay, that's it, folks. I hope you've gotten all of that. And good luck to those that are approaching New Zealand. You know the story, when to get in. Hopefully you will. And I've given you a date, the next date for arrival that might be viable. You'll have to decide that the weather in between is going to be acceptable. And remember that there are going to be a few depressions that will, between now and then, that will pass across New Zealand, but to the south. So the northern part of the cyclonic flow will affect the North Island, but it may not be very severe. It may be fairly light westerly type winds, and that's okay to get into New Zealand with as well. That's not bad at all, actually. So anyway, good luck for those that want to get going. And let us know what you're up to. And here's the chief.
Well, a couple of people have already said what they're up to. We have got Shimata looking to leave Newcal. In fact, they'll be down in the Isle of Pines by then on Friday to head to Opua. You can comment on that one tomorrow. And Amazing Grace, boy, they must be ready to roll. They are looking to leave tomorrow. So maybe they're going to have a slow trip. Anyway, there are a lot of people in Fiji, we know, wanting to, well, not wanting to probably, but looking to leave. Gone with the Winds, Cetaceous, Scoots, Andy Amo are looking to leave on Monday with an ETA of the 19th. They're going to cut it right to the mark. So that will be good. Anyway, we know that there's folks in Vanuatu, Eagles Wings at least. I think that's taken up residency there in Port Vila and Pilgrim. So they'll be coming from there. And of course, we've got a few left in New Caledonia. A few of the reports have come in. Malachite seems to be leading the bunch here, 31 and 173.23 with a 5 to 10 knot northerly. Only 25% cloud cover, 1014 and a 0.4 metres swell. Not too far behind is Whistler with 10 knots of more northeast. They're at 3051 and 173.36. They're motor sailing. Intrinsic, ETA Saturday. Hope you have heard the weather. It would be good if you could make it Friday, 2959 17355, again with 10 knots of northeasterly. It's very calm in Port Vila, 6 knots of east-northeast from Eagles Wings. And by the way, you'd be pleased to know, Valak, Randall and Ruth look at the JMA daily. So they're up to speed. And up the road from us, Jasper too, at Bonaccord and Carwell. They're probably hearing us almost without turning the radio on. So a good wadi to you guys, and thank you for bringing us delightful weather. Okay, is there anybody else with anything for Gulf Harbour Radio? Please call now. There was somebody. Could you say your boat name a couple of times, please? I think it was Scoots, but well, that's what David reckoned. I might need a relay. Belina, are you still on frequency?
Yes, I'm still here, but now I just it's over.
Okay, thank you, Benno. Well, try with the comment or question, and we'll see whether we can go from there. iCandy might copy you. So go ahead, please. Over.
Yes,
Okay, just give me your latitude only. Latitude only. Over. Okay, iCandy, Gulf Harbour. I'm not picking up the latitude or the question. Andrew, did you copy? 27.
It's going to be hard for him to get through.
Welcome back, Marina. Okay, Andrew, I've lost you now, unfortunately. So I think it's Vico, but David is a bit concerned about that position. I'll just pass the microphone.
Well, we're not sure. We think he
27.
said 27 south
174.
at 174. That's fine. He should have some very nice winds now. What I'm concerned about is getting in. He's going to have to up the speed if he plans on getting in by Saturday.
It's not a big boat.
So
It's a small boat.
I'm not sure what's going to happen there. Decisions need to be made as to whether, in fact, you will arrive by Friday into Saturday. I don't see how you could do it, frankly, unless you've got an afterburner. Otherwise, think about it. You may want to just hang back and let all this go by, but it's really up to you. We can't give advice. Over.
I've got you now, Andrew. Go ahead. Okay, he's hove to now. That's a good decision, and we'll be looking to go when it when all this passes through with an ETA of the 13th. Okay, thank you, Andrew. Got that. Vika, just, I think this is Kines. Could you just confirm you got our email, because you did tell us you were not able to get emails. We got a couple from you. We didn't get the first one when you sent it, but we got two yesterday from you. So could you please confirm you got our reply? And I'm assuming this is Kines I'm talking to. Go ahead. Just give me a Roger if you got our reply. Over. Well, I didn't get anything, so I'm not even sure whether... Andrew, do you know whether it was Kines and I was talking to Vico? Over.
3 days.
I've got a lady's voice very clearly. Go ahead with the relay, please.
For 3 days for golf radio. Reno, Alpha, Tango, Hotel, Yankee, go. Over.
Okay, I missed. I didn't realize you were doing that, Margie. Could you repeat? I've got Alpha Tango Hotel Yankee Golf, but I didn't get the first bit. Oh, it's Katie G. Oh, goodness. Katie G. All right, got them. Boy, that is difficult. And they are not picking us up. So, Katie G, we now have you. Katie G, could you confirm you are getting emails? Can you still get emails? Just give me a Roger via Whistler. Oh, I got you that time. All right. Well, we do have you now. So you probably heard David, and thanks, Margie. So not sure what happens. It just goes up and down at the moment. Please remember, folks, and this is for everybody, put your radio onto high power when you are talking to us. I know it uses power, but it's only a very brief time you're on air, so it's not all that critical. And if it means we know who you are and where you are, it makes a world of difference. All right, Katie G, I've got that, and you are going to just hold off with that weather and get here by the 13th. All right, David's nodding his head.
Better than the other.
Better than the option. All right, thank you for that. And good morning to Whistler, who sound as if they're having a nice motor sail in very pleasant conditions. Okay, is there anybody else? Is there any relays from anybody? All right, it's getting pretty painful, and I know that we have to really decide what we're doing here, because we are in a very urban area, and it's not going to get any better, our noise. So we've done all sorts of experiments trying to look at improving the hearing ability, but it's just one of those things. A lot of people's gadgets now are affecting the radio bands, and it's just the fact that there is just an awful lot more people around. So the only option for us is to have a remote antenna, and that's a very costly operation to put together, and certainly not something that we can afford to do. So we really have to decide what we are going to do next season because of this hearing problem that we've got. Okay, folks, we'll leave you with it. Have an enjoyable motor sail today. Most of you will have to do that if you are approaching this part of the world, but it is really lovely, and you'll enjoy your landfall. Cheers, everybody. We'll be back again in the morning. Gulf Harbour Radio clear.